We're just in time. Local forces barely fought off the Separatist first wave. Now the Separatists are landing an armored MPT loaded with battle droids. Best bet, we stop the advancing MPT before it reaches the Royal Palace. Have an arsenal of ion disruptors that should do the job. If we fail, then it gets up.
Alright everybody, Baron here. Welcome back to Star Wars Battlefront 2. So many of you guys may have seen me in the trailer the other day that was released on the stream for EA Play. I got a lot of tweets from people, including other YouTube friends, who were like, hey, I just saw Baron Vaughn Games. But yeah, so I'm part of the Game Changer program that has been involved with kind of like guiding the development, sort of guiding the development of the game with feedback sessions. We play various modes and, game modes, characters, heroes, vehicles, etc., maps, and then we give our feedback on what we thought, right? So one of the ones that I've been the most vocal about is Starfighters. I've been incredibly vocal about what I would like and what I need for Starfighters to be a compelling game mode that I would play more than, I don't know, maybe say like a week, right? Something that I could get lost in, because how many of us would really love to be that TIE Interceptor ace of the 181st, or like imagine that we're the X-Wing pilot in Rogue Squadron or something like that. Maybe you just want to be a droid flying a Vulture Droid. But the Vulture Droid is the droid. You are correct. So, but in the last video, people were saying, some of the memes were, watch those wrist rockets. And then, where are the droidicas? And droidicas, I believe, are coming. It's something that they want to get very, very right. And then also, people were criticizing the pre-alpha build. Some people were even arguing about balance. I mentioned that in this pre-alpha build, there are units, heroes, and vehicles that are not balanced. Some are really good, and some are utter crap. It's a pre-alpha build. A pre-alpha build that was built specifically to have a compelling and interesting and fun-to-watch game mode for the EA Play stream. So keep that in mind, right? If you're criticizing the pre-alpha for things like that, you're missing the point of what a pre-alpha is. So that's just kind of funny. But anyway, so something I've been very, very passionate about is Starfighter combat. I will say this, that while it is better than the previous iteration, I personally think it has so much potential. But there's a few things it needs. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this as kind of a forum for, myself and you guys as a community to use this video on Starfighter Combat as basically where we can give our feedback. You guys will be watching how these are playing in this video. You'll be seeing what's being done, how they're playing, both what I'm able to do and the things I'm not able to do. I can kind of let you in on that, but what I would really love this video to serve as is our mouthpiece as a community, as Baron Vaughn Games, this channel, and our community who watch it, so that I can then send this feedback to EA. That's kind of like why I'm a game changer in the first place, to change games. Hopefully, as best we can, right? But anyway, Starfighter Combat, right? So, the things that I've noticed in it. In the previous build, you could just press a button and you would do a barrel roll, or, a flip, or an S roll, something like that. Basically an evasive maneuver at the flick of a button, and that removes a lot of skill. Also, it removes variation. Like, what if I just wanted to do 3/4 of an S roll? Or do barrel rolls, aileron rolls. What if I wanted to jam the aileron and the rudder at the same time? To do, man, I forgot what it was called, but it was a really nice maneuver you could do with the Japanese Zero in War Thunder. Things like that, right? They've removed those buttons. So that serves as two purposes. There's not just this like, oh, I press a button and I don't need skill to evade an enemy fighter. That's on my 6, because dogfighting is it's essential for having a good aerial combat game. Is you need to have those dogfights, right? So, moving on from that, in the current build, while there isn't that little gimmicky mechanic, there is, I think personally, limitation. And I say this in the pre-alpha stage, and I've been very vocal. I want to reiterate that. I've been extremely vocal about what I would like and what I would need in order to lose myself into this game mode and think of it as not just a complementary game mode, but a game mode that I can spend considerable time in and of itself. Right? So there's aileron control. It's really nice. There's aileron control and there's speed adjustment, but you can't ever fully cut your throttle. You have to understand that I think Star Wars Battlefront, in most cases, like in the battles, Starfighter combat is a complement to what's going on the battlefield or the battlefront. You can fight other fighters, you can ground strafe targets, and we're going to be seeing both of that. You're seeing it in the background now. And while there's aileron control, there's no elevator control. There's no rudder control. But at the very least, you need ailerons and elevators. Ideally, you also have rudders because they're almost like when you first jump into a game. Like I'm going to go off my own experience by playing the game War Thunder. When I first started playing War Thunder, I did, the whole mouse and keyboard. I did throttle and I did mouse to kind of move myself. It was very inviting and it was easy to get into, but there was these people that were doing pretty impressive maneuvers and doing better stuff and basically playing better. So to get better at the game, you had to slowly but surely you get into something that was relatively inviting and easy to get into. Then you slowly started working your way. For me personally, I went into ailerons next, right? To help me, do sharper turns. Then I went into elevators, right? Where you're going heads up with an enemy, and then you jam your elevator up or down so that you don't collide. You don't have a ramming collision. Because I will say this, I found it reminded me of War Thunder arcade mode in the first couple years that I played. When you would go heads up with an enemy in arcade mode because you're trying to get the kill, they're trying to get the kill. What's the easiest way to get guns on target? Go heads up with an enemy where you both fly at each other and go guns blazing and see who dies or flinches first, right? Well, in this, I had that happen a few times, and if we didn't finish each other off, neither of us pulled away, but then at the same time, we didn't have the tools to pull away at the last moment. We didn't have elevator control, which is something that you would want to be able to pull away at the last, at the final second. And it's just like things like that make dogfighting fun, right? Like go all in. I'm gonna try to go heads up and wipe them out in these few seconds before our ships collide or he evaporates me. So that was another thing. Also, the dogfights, when you get someone on your 6 o'clock or you get on someone's 6 o'clock, I found that part, the dogfights are lacking currently at this stage of pre-alpha build. So let's just make that clear. It is the current stage of the pre-alpha build. But yeah, there needs to be I want there to be more because I want to be Suntir, Baron of the Empire Fell of the 181st in his TIE Interceptor with the red stripe. That guy was a boss, and I would like to be him in a video game. And then people are like, I want to be Han Solo or Luke Skywalker. We all have those thoughts as Star Wars fans and as video gamers of what it would be like, not what it would be like, but wouldn't it be fun to just do that stuff? And with customization being such a key thing in Star Wars Battlefront, in the classes and the characters and the hero system, I would imagine that customization could also carry forward into Starfighters. But that is, I haven't got any word on that yet. But it's possible, right? So it could be a very, very compelling game mode. Now, with that, right now we've got ailerons. So going back to it, we've got ailerons. We don't have elevators. We don't have rudder control, which is just greater fine-tuning of your Starfighter, right? And lack of those controls can basically have these one-on-one duels devolve into this ring around the rosy, just circling around. One of the few things that I was able to do, when I got someone on my 6 and I could do this little I could slow myself as much as possible, I could accelerate as much as possible, I could go in a circle and I could try to outsmart them, but the smarter pilot is just gonna slow down, wait to see what you do, accelerate when you accelerate, slow down when you slow down, and then just keep trying to pepper you while he's on your 6. So the one-on-one dogfights in those cases I felt stale. And that's the beauty of this pre-alpha. If we are very vocal about this, I mean, I would imagine that we could, you know, say, hey, this needs to be done for this vast amount of people who want to lose themselves in a Starfighter combat. Yeah, and another thing is, like, I thought one of the few things I could do to kind of try to lose the average pilot was contour flying. Try to fly close to bridges, to buildings, fly around the Palace of Theed. There was a lot of cool little archways and stuff in the middle of the map and on the back side of the palace. And there's a lot of really cool stuff like flying around. Another thing is like I felt like the battlefield for Starfighters was limited in terms of when it was like, you are leaving the battlefield, you need to pull back. So that it basically keeps Starfighters as just a complement to the battles, which I can understand. But in the Starfighter mode, you know, it obviously would be different, but it needs to be different. So it's like, yeah, contour flying and speeding up and trying to get them to like either be scared of hitting buildings or to actually hit buildings. Or, you know, if there was a few of you up in the air, to like fly towards them. And your allies would hopefully shoot them off your tail. Hey, Baron, what's the best way to get someone off my tail in Arcade War Thunder Plains? Fly towards a friend. Use your, because you can't always rely on people's benevolence to save you. You need to rely on their greed. They want to get kills, so give them something to kill in the game, right? But yeah, it's beautiful. All the Starfighters have their own abilities which differentiate them, like the N-1 Starfighter, the N-1 Naboo, that beautiful yellow Ferrari-looking Starfighter that whoopee flew. You know what I'm talking about. That one, I think one of the cool abilities is it's got an astromech droid that can repair the fighter. That thing helped me be survivable when there was 3 enemy fighters up and there was just me. And when it was 3v1 on the Battle of Theed, I just had to run, and I would heal, and I would try to like lure them into crashing into each other, like I did once or twice with friends chasing one enemy. I did it. It's possible. It happens. It did. You know, there's also that, and then the droid, the Vulture Droid, it had this ability where you could press a button and one of your 3 abilities, and it would like overheat and accelerate, fire your gun like incredibly fast. It was awesome. Like if you had someone in your sights and you knew they weren't going to move, do that. I also used it on ground vehicles. I think I killed one of the heroes on the ground. I think I might have hit Rey with I'm pretty sure I got Rey once or twice. I killed a few heroes using the Starfighters. That's got to be sort of frustrating for them when I was on ground attack. And it was fun to, see that, hey, rock, paper, scissors, you might be the best individual soldier on the ground, but when you're fighting a vehicle from the sky with that powerful weaponry hitting you from above, you gonna get wrecked. But I also felt that when left unchecked, a Starfighter in the air just strafing ground targets was incredibly powerful, as it should be. And I had games where I was left unchecked, and I think I went on, I don't know, maybe a 20 kill streak with, was it the N-1 Starfighter or the Droid Starfighter? Anyway, it's probably in the background going right now, as I'm saying this from my hotel room on 4 hours of sleep, because I'm at these conventions working to get exclusive footage for you guys and also be a part of these really cool things and editing videos and doing all that as well and trying to have fun. So sleep is the thing that is suffering, but it's been a very, very fun time. So if the fan kicks on in the background, it's because of this obnoxious fan in my hotel. But yeah, so when left unchecked, I went rampant on ground kills. But then the game mode after that, people were like, oh, Baron's up in the sky and just racking up these kills. So everybody was trying to get up in the sky, as they should, because that was the meta for that game. And then I found myself getting 3v1'd and not able to do much because I was checked. My reign of terror from the skies was undone. It came to an end. So anyway, getting back to it, trying to do my best to not be totally ADD and actually, get back full circle. This is a pre-alpha state. If you're criticizing it for a pre-alpha state, hey man, that's your prerogative. It's kind of ridiculous. Some people were, one of the biggest criticisms was, and I can understand it. I can kind of empathize with it. It's like, Boba Fett and Darth Maul in the prequels, both of them? That's ridiculous. Or the big one was Rey and Han Solo, because they were the heroes on the Battle of Theed. But guys, this is pre-alpha. Those were showing off heroes that were made for a pre-alpha that was made for the EA Play Stream Showcase. You know, and it's pre-alpha. If people don't want to see heroes that don't fit into that respective era in a battle, I'm sure it could be done, right? It's pre-alpha, and they have made, you know, a very public and conscientious effort to say, hey, we're listening to the community. We've even got this Game Changers program. We're more responsive, and you know, we've got our ears to the ground when it comes time to the subreddits and the forums and the other online communities like this one. So that being said, let's I mean, you've been watching the action in the back, and this was supposed to be just like a 5 to 6 minute intro, but it's something I'm very passionate about, and I wanted to address the 2 videos that we showed off yesterday that you guys are loving right now. So if you guys want to see more, I can show off more. So that being said, the question of the day is what would you like to see next? Also, it's 2-part. It's 2 parts. What would you like to see in the next video of Star Wars Battlefront 2? I'll see if I can't do it with the footage that I had, and I'll see if I can't get more footage for you guys. And secondly, you know, what would you do, or what do you want to see different in Starfighter combat? Because it's something I am particularly passionate and interested in, and I would love, and I almost demand, it being good and a compelling game mode in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Baron. Thank you so much for watching. It's time for me to head back to EA Play.
This is pointless.